Well, hello, and a very warm welcome to episode number 8 of A Load of Clark and Ball. I'm the Clark, he's the Ball, and as you can see, we've got some very special guests joining us on this episode. Now, brilliant night of action on Tuesday night up at Towcester. We've got the Northamptonshire Sprint first round of that, live on Racing Post, Greyhound TV and SIS. But following those heats, a very, very special one-off Towcester Marathon Shoot-Out featuring three of the best staying bitches in the country. It should be an absolute belter. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you are too, Tony.
Yeah, it's a fantastic concept. I mean, back in the day, before you was probably even born, Dave, match races used to be about connections, a bit of swagger. My dog's better than yours, but this is a fun concept. There ain't none of that, oh, my dog can lap yours and all that. It's a good concept, nice to see, over a marathon distance as well. So plenty of fun and variety for all.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, I'll jump straight to Steve Fluin, who you can see in the top of the shot there, because Steve, this is not the first shootout you've been involved in at Towcester.
No, we've been involved in a few shootouts over the years, both at Towcester and at Romford. I really love the concept as you've referred to it, because it's a true test, because there's very unlikely to be any problems in the race. Everyone's going to get their chance to show what they can do. So if you're the dog that goes off the front, you get a nice clear run. And if you're the dog that finishes, you're probably going to get a good chance to come at it and prove you're stronger. So intrinsically, it's probably one of the fairer ways of deciding who's the best dog of the moment of the distance. So, we weren't actually originally involved in this. We've come in as a reserve with 3Ms. I think originally it was Lee Gifkin's bitch, Renee, Renee, I think, but she got injured a couple of Fridays ago at Romford. And Nathan Corden gave me a call on, I think it was the Sunday morning following that, and said, look, unfortunately, we've got this shootout, but the Renee bitch can't make it because she's injured. Would you like to put one of your greyhounds up for it? Because we've got a couple of marathon bitches. And at first we were a bit hesitant, if I'm honest, because 3Ms is our best bitch, in my opinion, but she's coming back from a stomach injury, and we weren't sure she was really ready. But a quick chat with Paul and the what we got to lose concept comes forward. She's going to have a chance to show just how well she's coming now, and hopefully take on what I think are two super bitches. But without being over biased, I think the Royale bitch is a bit very special from what we've seen so far. So it's a good challenge for us. And in the background, there's also we paid a lot of money for 3Ms as a club. And she was doing ever so well with the previous trainer, and we haven't really got the best out of her yet. And this might give us a chance to show that she's as good as we think she should be.
Okay, brilliant. Well, let's move on to the Aayamzaboys Royale bitch, as Steve mentioned, Greyhound of the Year as well. I'm delighted to say that Nigel Smith joins us as well from the Aayamzaboys Syndicate. Nigel, you've got a special Greyhound. We all know that, and this is something a little bit quirky, something a little bit different, and it's very sporting that everyone's happy to get involved.
Yeah, we were delighted that we were asked to come in this match race. I think it was a great idea from Lee to suggest it, because she's been laid off for about a couple of months now, so she's only had a couple of runs since the TV Trophy last year, so there's not been that many marathon races around. So when this was mentioned to us, we just jumped it because I thought it was a great idea. So I'm hoping this trend will pick up and we'll get more match races in the future, because I used to love the match races when I used to go at Walthamstow Dogs when I first started going dog racing. I just think they're great for spectators, and it should be more of it going forward, hopefully.
Well, going forward, and very much a track who are innovative, would be Towcester and track promoter Kevin Boothby, who is involved in the match race, of course, with his Savannah Volcano. Kevin, tell us how this came about, and I'm sure you're looking forward to it.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to it. Basically, I picked the Racing Post up one morning, see Lee Gifkin's article in there about a match race, this, that, and the other. And I love the concept of it, and I love the idea that there's three in there. There's no excuse of any of them. They'll all get a nice run. And I think it's great for all the owners involved as well. Do you know what I mean? And it is fun. I mean, the key to greyhound racing this day and age, we need to get fun back into it. So anybody who wants match races at Towcester, we'll stage them. Why not? It's a great spectacle. And the marathon scene is getting so strong this year. It's really exciting to look forward to some cracking races.
Yeah, we are looking forward to it. Right, let's bring up the race then. It is the 7:56, race 7 on the card, Tony, and there's nowhere to hide, 742 metres.
No, without a shadow of doubt. And 3M's, he's 4 from 6 over a distance of 900 metres plus, Dave. Was 4th to Aayamzaboys win that thrilling Cesarewitch at Romford last year. And I think it was a no-brainer for Steve to step in because she ran such a great race behind Smallmead over that 712 metre distance. So she clearly runs the track, and she's got a lot more early than is given credit for as 3M's. And if she can tuck in on the rail, she could set some fast fractions for at least 6 or 7 bends.
Yeah, she should have the inside all to herself. Let's talk 3M's then with Steve. We'll sort of go down the race card, not as you see it, because I can tell you that Savannah Volcano and Aayamzaboys have actually swapped boxes, but we'll get to that in a minute. Steve, 3M's. It was well documented, an expensive purchase for the club. Now, there were snipes, should we say, on social media. Oh, you know, this was very expensive. What have they bought here? But in recent weeks, it's came out that she unfortunately suffered a stomach muscle injury, which kind of fills in the gaps a little bit and the story of why she's not been at her best. But there's been real signs of her coming back to life in recent weeks, hasn't there?
Yeah, I mean, it was a high-profile purchase, and that's what greyhound addiction is all about. You see something, you like it, and then, you know, I'm lucky because I've got the support of a lot of people in the Champagne Club. So what appears a very expensive purchase to a lot of people is £300 a share if you've got 100 of you in it. And it just was a case of, you know, having to step in, pay the right price for the dog, pay the training fees up front, and then have some fun. We won the first race with her, and Kevin Boothby had previously won over this sort of trip and the Cesarewitch trip. And we didn't know going into the final that we had an injury. We'd seen Georgie Drake. We hadn't picked anything up, but she wasn't stretching out as well as we thought she should. And she got beat in that Cesarewitch final. We took her back firstly to the vets and then to George again. And he found that she'd torn a muscle in the side of her stomach. It was actually a stomach muscle, and we got busy on it with the treatments, and bit by bit we're bringing her back. But in the meantime, I don't think it's unreasonable for people to have expected more, and we haven't delivered. I don't think so much. We don't get any complaints within the club. It's the people outside the club that observe that we might have been, you know, paid too much, or the trainer knew what he was doing, letting us have her or whatever. So in Paul Young's mind, he wants to prove this year that she's as good as we think she should be. And with the Durando coming up, and obviously then the TV trophy, this was a perfect stepping stone after a good run at Monmore and a good run at Towcester. How do I see the race being run? I think we have to lead to win. I think the dogs behind, the other two dogs could come from behind us. I think it's unlikely that we can come from behind them. And I think we've got the best early pace of the three. So inside draw, kick away, make as much ground as we can. I don't think there's a huge amount of difference with them over 7-12 metres. We did a 43.54, Royale 43.57. And the Volcano bitch another 4 or 5 lengths behind. But as we know, trial times or race times over different distances don't make any difference. And then it's going to be a question of that last 200 metres. We sort of know what to expect, and we're just going to hope we're in front, or we've put a good clock down on the first 7-12, and then catch us if you can. But we won't mind either way, win, lose or draw. We're really pleased to be involved.
Excellent.
I did say to Dave, Steve, I said, what are you ringing Steve Fluin for? He's the bubbly club man. This is 3M's. We've got to find the 3 syndicate man.
Oh, no, listen, I tell you the truth about the purchase very quickly. We weren't going to buy 3M's. Neil Ryan, who used to own Erica's Equity, wanted to buy 3M's. So he spoke to Paul and said, Paul, can you get 3M's for me? Paul phoned Kevin Boothby and he wouldn't take less than £25,000. He said, that's it. If you want this bitch, it's 25. If you don't, stop calling. And Neil decided he didn't want to buy. And we were travelling up to, I think we were going to Bicester with some pups when Neil decided he didn't want to buy the bitch. And Paul's face sunk in the van. It's like, oh my God, I really wanted her in the kennel. So I said, well, buy her then and we'll syndicate her. Forgot to do that little check where you see if she's had a name change.
Oh, no.
Sort of no due diligence, as they say. And of course, we bought her we paid the money on, syndicated her very quickly, easiest syndication ever, because everyone loves a marathon greyhound. Went to change her name and they said, no, sorry, she's had a name change. You've got to stay as 3Ms. But I still refer to her as Bubbly 3Ms anyway.
Okay, right, let's move on then to, as I mentioned, there is going to be a change in the trap draw here. Savannah Volcano, you can see on the race card there in 4, is actually going to be in 6, and Aayamzaboys Royale is going to be in 4. Let's go to Kevin Boothby first then, because I just mentioned it to Nigel and he wasn't even aware that the trap draw had changed. So the boxes have changed, Kevin. Tell us about that, and of course tell us about the very well-bred Savannah Volcano.
Yeah, I think basically the trap change is Diane spotted that Volcano a middle seed on her. Obviously, she's a wide seed, and he put me in force return straight right, even though she's got no early into the fall out of the boxes. So she only ran race up today, spoke to Andy and James. They spoke to Matt. Matt was quite happy going for, and we put Volcano in 6. So it makes perfect sense, really.
Now she's bred. Go on, yeah, she's bred to stay forever, Kev, isn't she?
I buy loads of dogs off Pat, and he always knows anything marathon wise. You know, he'll always ring me up, this, that, and the other. So in January of last year, I bought Volcano and a little brother, a dog called Volcanic. It was a nice dog, and obviously lockdown came. Then she came in season, and to give her a bit of experience, we put her in an A6 at Towcester, and she won second time up. But obviously the game with her was always marathon. We did put her in a 6-pen race. She got a bit of trouble. Didn't really show her running. And then when the blue ribbon final come, we had a marathon on there, and we just chucked them at the deep end. But we was confident she'd stay. And to be fair, she's done exceptionally well behind the firm and Aayamzaboys. In her first time over the trip, and he beat 6 lengths. So it'll be interesting for us now how she developed since then. I mean, obviously she's gone to Perry Bar, won over the marathon trip there impressively. She won over 6 pens there as well, which ain't her distance, to be fair. She's been the nice dog of Barry Drivers there. And she's also been to Crayford, and you know what Crayford's like, you need looks around there. But she ran exceptionally well behind Mixed Little Gemma, who took off that day, to be fair. So, look, I'm really looking forward to it. It's a cracking race. I mean, 3Ms, that ran an absolute blinder. I mean, to be fair, I know what Steve said, but that did a lot of running behind Small Meat. That was staying really, really strong. So, and the 7:12 at Towcester is very tough. And Aayamzaboys, that an exceptional bitch. I mean, she's just done a clock over 7:12 in the trial. But we'll take a chance. I'm really looking forward to it. It is, I'm so looking forward to Tuesday. It'll be great. And hopefully people can enjoy this race. But hopefully we can stage more and more of these races. It's so important as a sport, we get that fun element back into it. And it just gets you going, Dave, these sort of races, do you know what I mean? And it's my fair play to the Boothby Club. Hopefully Steve and all his members will have a cracking day. And the Aayamzaboys, hopefully they'll enjoy it. But hopefully they'll be second and third. And I'll have a big fat smile on my face.
I mean, it is an interesting shootout. I mean, the last one, 2017, the Rotors Wildcat beating Bruiser's Bullet and Bubbly Bluebird. Now, they bet on that occasion 5-4, 7-4, and 3-1. I'm sure they're not going to bet like that in this particular shootout. But there's a volcano erupting in Iceland at the minute, Kevin. I'm sure you'll be hoping there's one erupting in Northamptonshire.
Well, the one thing is, if she does win, it'll be the last sort of 15, 20 metres when she comes. Oh, look, she'll love that trip. That is a perfect distance, 940, 950, even 1,000 metres. That's what she needs. So it's going to be exciting. Look, if she's 2 or 3 lengths behind going into the last bend, that'll be race on. I mean, I can't wait. It'll be at one stage, she will be 10 or 12 behind at one stage. I'm sure she will. But she will come home with a rattle.
Yeah, she's very much bred in the purple, a daughter of Volcano, who's in fact a daughter of Fluin winner, who won the TV trophy herself. And Volcano was a sister to Old Refrain, who, of course, Kevin, produced the certain Savannah winner who won a TV trophy. So there's stamina absolutely everywhere in the dam line.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I love that sort of breeding. And, when Pat said to me he's got a little picture, I'll definitely stay in marathon. He said she won't have a lot of early, but she will, she will definitely get a marathon trip. And, yeah. And like I say, it's only a 10th race of her life, Dave. So it's interesting. And she's developed nicely each race. So really looking forward to this race.
Yeah, brilliant. And talking of TV trophy winners, we move on, of course, the Greyhound of the Year, Aayamzaboys Royale, who will be in Trap 4 for Mark Wallace and the Aayamzaboys. And Nigel Smith joins us. And Nigel, it's already been one hell of a journey with Aayamzaboys Royale. What a great bitch she's been for you. And she is going to be favourite for this race. We all know that. How is she?
Well, Mark said she's spot on. As Kevin says, she trialled well last Monday or Tuesday at Towcester. She done the clock. So she's a bit lightly raced at the moment, but I'm sure, as Kevin, I think it's a 9.42. It's a big ask, 9.42. So it'd be interesting off the last two bends how fit she is. But we're quite confident. You know, she's a good stayer. She does get the long distances. She may be a bit of match race fitness, but I think she'd be spot on. So it should be an interesting race. I actually agree with Steve and Kevin that 3M should lead us up, and I just think if there's nothing in her way, she might get to them quicker than she would normally if there's dogs in her way. So if she does get it quickly, then I think she could pull away, you know. But be interested to see if 3M takes her around and Volcano comes off the last, and it'd be game on if it's a stamina race at the end.
Did you always know you had a star on your hands, Nigel? Obviously, that race at Romford that she won last year back in February, and then she followed up at Sheffield. She won a back-to-back Regency trial stakes, but then COVID came, and obviously that event was delayed.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tony. The Romford Maiden, I think it was just before COVID came in. She took off against one of them Roxhome bitches, and they thought they had a nice dog there. And she just took off from nowhere from the back, and I knew then she was good, even though it was only 5.75. But she's just a one-off, Tony. Really, you know, we were just lucky to have a bitch this good, you know. So.
And it must have been fantastic for you. I think you was allowed at the track when she won the Cesarewitz. That was one of the most exciting races of 2020 when she got up to beat Mixed Little Gem. And 3M's was also in that particular final.
Yeah, that was a great fight. That's one of the races of last year, wasn't it? Really, I thought, apart from not a match race against Christoph, but that was a good race because everyone thought Christoph, you know, was going to go, and that was. I don't know about you guys, but I thought that the whole racing community just flew to watch that TV trophy first that heat, wasn't it? Because it was quite not a match race, but it was. Everyone was excited to see what would happen really if she could pick them up. So yeah, she's exciting. It's just hope she stays healthy now, Tony. You know, for the rest of the season. You know, because there's a big campaign coming up after this race. There's a lot of comps, as Kevin said, coming into the calendar. So it's exciting for the marathon scene, I think. You know, going forward.
Yeah, I mean, Nigel, you mentioned that she broke the track record, or she went inside the clock in her trial because obviously she's been beaten over course and distance. Affirmed got first run on her. Now you can't, if the fact she's gone inside the clock in the 6-bend trial, you can't say she doesn't run the track. So was she a short of a run on that occasion, or was it just the big run from Affirmed?
Yeah. Well, Affirmed's a cagey dog. You don't know what you're getting with Affirmed. He either flies out and he waits around, and you know. So I think that race, Dave, she was just a bit short of the race. She needed that race. She'd been off since December. She had a couple of trials back, but she just couldn't get to him, could she? So, but he did run a great race at first. He banged out and he was gone, wasn't he? So he ran a good race. So I think she needed that race that day. So and then she ran one more. That was another good race, wasn't it? Last month there was 6 good dogs in that. So and she come on for that race and she's on the clock, didn't she? So but Bubbly Angel ran really well that day, and she wasn't far off Lydia.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to it. That is 7:56, race 7 on the card, Tuesday night after the heats. Let's get everyone's views then. I want a 1, 2, 3 off of everyone. Feel free to chuck your own dog in first if you want to do that and be biased. Absolutely, that's what we're all about. I'm going to come to Tony first because give us a loose handle on how you think the betting will be come the off here, Tony, as well.
I bet roughly, I thought that bet sounded like 4-1 3Ms. I thought Volcano would be a 6-7 to 1 shot and probably 2-7, 4-1 on Aayamzaboys. That'd be about 112% book to those prices. But I do think Aayamzaboys will take the world of beating. Her CV tells you that. But it is a different ball game. It's a 3-dog trial in some respects. And the reason I fancy Aayamzaboys is I think she will turn a little bit closer. And I think if 3M's is bowling along in front, looking at the times over the 7-12, they're going to have 50, 60 spots in hand over Kevin's Savannah Volcano. And as much as she will probably try and reduce the deficit, Savannah Volcano, in the second circuit, I just think that the principals might just have stolen the march. And I fully expect Aayamzaboys to show her class in this particular contest. Maybe down the line, if there's future ones, they could be taking turns in beating one another. That's what we'd like to see.
Right, so I want a 1, 2, 3 out of you.
I'm going to go 6 over 3 M's and Savannah Volcano, but if Aayamzaboys Royal gets to 3 M's a little bit early, I think Kevin's bitch will fill the forecast role.
Right, so Tony's going with Aayamzaboys Royal, Savannah Volcano, and 3 M's. Steve, are you sticking with 3 M's? Do you think you're playing for the places?
Well, you have to look at it as an owner and as a punter. You know, would I be staking my life on beating either of the other two? No, I wouldn't. Heart says that 3 M's will kick on and take quite a little bit of a lead out of these two greyhounds, and then I'm hoping that Paul's got her as well as he thinks he has, and her stamina kicks in. She's won over 9.42 and 9.45 already, so we know she gets the trip. So I'd be thinking the other two would be coming up against us. I'd be going to, obviously, the M's bitch, followed by the Greyhound of the Year, Royale, and then the Volcano coming up and finishing probably the strongest of the three, but a bit too late.
Mr. Boothby, it's probably going to have to be a last to first job for Savannah Volcano.
To be fair, I mean, I thought a last trial 44 dead, I thought it was slower than that, the track. She trialled straight after we watered it, and I thought it was a lot slower. She has done 43.60 odd and 43.70 odd. So that's the other thing to throw in the mix, to be fair. But look, it'll be a cracking race, but I'm with my bitch, aren't I? Got no choice, me on, mate, ever. 4-2 all day long, bring it on, come on. Just have a bit of fun. That's what it's all about. Can't wait.
Absolutely. And Nigel?
I've got to go with Lydia, but I think it could be close if 3M's, as Steve said, might need the race, and it's a long track, 9.42, so it might be a bit stamina ridden. It'd be close for the second and third between. So I'm going to go Volcano just to pick 3M's off the last bend.
Brilliant.
So Volcano and 3M.
I am going with 3M's off the front. Steve, I'm with you. Youngies give her the rub down off the front. Keep pulling. See if the other two can fetch her in. We will see. But yeah, really looking forward to it. It's very sporting of you all to be involved. We're looking forward to it. The whole sport is looking forward to it. It'll be absolutely fantastic. Live on Racing Post Ground TV and SIS on Tuesday night. Before you go, chaps, I just want to talk. There is £1,200 up for grabs. What is the breakdown there? Is everyone chipping in? And a quick word on everyone on just prize money levels at present, because all three greyhounds lining up are, you know, in today's market worth a few quid. So what are your thoughts on it? I'll come to you first, Steve, quickly.
Well, look, you know, Kevin, along with Rachel Corden and Ian Smythe now, are the three most powerful people in greyhound racing. They own as promoters, they own really the future of greyhound racing over the next few years. Kevin's got huge enthusiasm to put on good races and good prize money, and the other two have got big organisations behind them. So I'm hoping that prize money per se over the next 2 to 3 years is going to take a walk towards the levels that they should be. For this particular race, I don't think the three connections are in it for the money, and the people behind the three connections are not in it for money. This is for fun, and it's for pride, and it's because we love our greyhounds. So I wouldn't care if it was for £1 or for £1,000 on Tuesday. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know how it works out. I don't know how much I've got to put in, and I don't know how much I could take out, but it's whatever it is, it's fine.
Well, if you are, Mr. Boothby will be on the phone anyway. What's the setup here then, Kev? How's this all come about and the money being put up?
I think basically we're all lobbing in 400 quid a piece. Right. Basically, it's Lee Gifkin's idea, which is Lee, what do you think? Is it 400 quid each? Is fine. So the winner gets £1,000 and the other two gets 100 quid a piece. So, which is, like Steve's bang on. It's all about the prestige, all about having a bit of fun and having a crack. Do you know what I mean? So the money, I suppose, it's immaterial.
And you're sort of different to all four of us. All four of us that have owned greyhounds. You're a promoter as well. A quick word on prize money levels at present.
Well, I think you noticed with the Northamptonshire Sprint on Tuesday night, we pay £60 also runs. So I mean, we our level of prize money at Towcester will say top notch. And there ain't many cat ones out there for the sprint dogs. So I was keen to get that into the calendar. And again, we're paying £5 to the winner. And like I say, we'll look after everybody at Towcester. We'll do it properly, pay proper prize money, but that's what it's all about. So we're very committed behind it, and nothing will change with that.
And Nigel, you guys, I mean, Aayamzaboys picked up plenty of prize money along the way. I'm sure you'll echo the thoughts of Steve and Kevin there, that it's definitely not about the money. It's about, being involved in something a little bit different and at the top of the game.
Yeah, I think it's just good PR for the sport and the marathon scene as well. Because I think this year, my good friend Mitch has stepped in. He's sponsoring 2 competitions, and there's another marathon as well as for the tote. So the marathon scene is just a good place to be, I think, this year. It's quite strong as it is, and I think it's good to have a few more competitions, just as with the 4 bench. And I'm so excited about the rest of the calendar. It's what they put together this year. Kevin's been brilliant, and Nathan's done a fantastic job getting it all sorted out behind the scenes, because there's a lot of work goes on to get the match sheet registered and in the calendar. So he's done a great job. He's been really helpful to me. So I'm really excited, really, for the marathon scene coming in the next couple of years. Prize money could be a bit better, personally, but that's just work in progress, I suppose.
Final word on from you, Tony. The marathon scene is bubbling along quite nicely at the moment.
It's just a fantastic concept. Look, if I was Nigel and I am a royal, I'd put all my chips in, because I feel that I'm sitting there with a royal flush. But that's the beauty of greyhound racing. Nothing's ever set in stone. And if I was ever a racing manager, I would be on the phone ringing trainers with these big name dogs. Back in the day, they got appearance money to put bums on seats, Dave. And I think that's gone a bit unnoticed in recent times. When you've got these good dogs, we need to start making characters of these dogs, letting the public know and think, God, they're taking each other on again. And it just builds up a bit of interest. And that's what I would always say. A good racing manager worth their salt would be picking up phones and saying, I want your dog to come to my track and get good racing on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd echo that as well. Right, 3 very special ladies are in action in the Towcester Marathon Shoot-Out on Tuesday night, as I've mentioned, live on Racing Post Greyhound TV and SIS, along with the Northamptonshire Sprint first round. Tune in on Tuesday night. Thank you all for your time, giving it up on this Sunday evening, and the very best of luck to everyone involved. You've been watching a load of Clark and Ball, and keep an eye out for the next episode covering the Northamptonshire Sprint in the next couple of days.